Charles Van Morgan. This is the Charles Van Morgan Show. We had a almost record-breaking show yesterday with over 40,000 people listening to the channel. Thank you all so very much. So we got a great show for you today, broadcasting live in the morning. The Charles Van Morgan Show. We're going to talk about the crimes of the Tennessee Highway Patrol with names and dates and times that are causing, still to this day, hundreds of Tennesseans to get killed. Join me. Come on in. Charles Van Morgan. It is Friday. The Charles Van Morgan Show. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Here we go. So like, share, comment. The Charles Van Morgan Show. We're going to talk about the crimes of the Tennessee Highway Patrol that are to this day continuing to cause you and your family members to get killed on Tennessee roadways, the most dangerous roadways. So good morning, the Charles Van Morgan Show. Thank y'all for joining. The Charles Van Morgan Show. Come on in, come on in. So we are, well, car coming two ways, so we're in trouble here. So let's step off the roadway just a little bit. Usually cars ain't coming this way at the same time, so it makes it hard for us to. The Charles Van Morgan Show. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, at the same time right here. Imagine that. The Charles Van Morgan Show. This morning we are broadcasting live and in person. We're going to talk about the crimes of the Tennessee Highway Patrol, the government agency, the people in the agency that are continuing to cause hundreds of your family members to get killed. We're going to talk about specific lies that they told under oath. Got depositions on a record where they swore to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God, and then they went on to lie. These are people in the government that are continuing to cause Tennesseans to this day to get killed because the fatality rate is 45% higher than it was before they told their lies. So they are the cause directly. You can draw a line to them, right to their nose, what I've done on all other pictures, to the people that committed crimes in the state government. So let's see how many people we got in here, if we got any at all. So yeah, we got a few. So it's the Charles Van Morgan Show. We're broadcasting now live in the morning. So hang on today. We got a really important show for you and got something to introduce to you that you might want, you might not, I don't know, but it's a topic of worldwide discussion because it's been put out in the public but in the wrong way, and we're going to try to correct the record and tell you the truth. All the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. So we're talking this morning about government officials, about state crime that are continuing to this day to cause you and your family members to get slaughtered on Tennessee roadways because the law's not being enforced, because of people in state government that lied to you and lied under oath and spun a story to keep them in power that's false. And we're going to talk about the social movement. Power to you, the people. We are the leader of the free world, standing on the Constitution. Like Bill Clinton said when he won office back in the 90s, there was all kinds of policy positions that people were running for, all kinds of different positions that they were trying to put forward to get a consensus of what people wanted in the White House. And, you know, immigration was an issue, and war was an issue, and all kinds of issues. And Bill Clinton won the White House. He said he wasn't talking to the populace. He was talking to the opposing campaign. He said, it's the economy, stupid. And he won the White House based on the economy. And this social movement power to you, the people, is it's the Constitution, stupid. We're telling the opposing people in office and the Democrats and the Republicans, it's the Constitution we're running on. We're protecting your constitutional rights. If we can get back our constitutional rights, the economy will straighten out itself. Good, hard-working people, and the courts and the government will straighten out themselves if they honor the Constitution. So we're going to talk about former Major Satterfighter. Her name is Sanders. I call her Satterfighter. Smoking line dirtbag, criminal, under oath lied, was fraudulent, and also we're going to talk about, you can go anytime. Also, we're going to talk about trots to the bathroom. Colonel Trott, the former colonel over the Highway Patrol, his legacy of death and destruction and criminality of a position in state power, and you can send this video to him, is still causing death and destruction to this day because of his general and specific deterrence. Because he deterred not crime, he deterred enforcement of, he deterred enforcement of criminal laws. He deterred keeping the fatality rate down. He stopped that from happening, from lowering people getting killed. So more people go home to people knocking on their door. People knock on their door because of Trott, knock on their door. Hello. I hate to tell you that your so-and-so, your loved one, is your brother, sister, mother, husband, wife, was killed in a car wreck. A drunk driver hit him on Andersonville Pike or on Emory Road because of Trott taking me off the road, specific deterrence, and general deterrence, sending a message to everybody. So I have a degree in criminology, so I happen to know a few things. Trots to the bathroom. That send him a copy of this. And general deterrence, he showed other troopers and other officers all across the state, it doesn't matter that you're in the business, that you're in law enforcement to protect lives and property, that you swore an oath to uphold the Constitution, and you intend to uphold that oath, and you do every day, and you lower the fatality rate. That doesn't matter. It's whether or not you honor the illegitimate, illicit, false, crooked, criminal establishment. If you honor the establishment and keep your mouth shut and don't worry about doing your job, that doesn't matter. It's who's your daddy. Then everything's fine. But if you dare to protect the public, which is what I did, the fatality rate was on the way down. I made more arrests than anybody in the state. If you dare to do that, that makes zero difference. He actually even said that. Makes zero difference. So he specific deterrence, he got rid of me, led the state in drunk driving arrest. Fatality rate was on the way down. Less people got their doors knocked on under my tenure as a state trooper than they do now, which is 45% more. Almost half as many more people are killed. So if you're talking about 100 doors were knocked on when I was a trooper, and it was going down 98, 97, 96 on the way down when I was a trooper, because I was taking people off the road that they would have been dead and people that they would have hit. And so there's no knock at somebody's door. And under Trotz with his general deterrence, 45% more. That's like 145 doors, more doors get knocked on as compared to 100, and it was on the way down. And it's went up 45% more. I mean, literally, we're not talking numbers. We're counting bodies, toe tags. So instead of needing 99, 98, 97 toe tags, because I was lowering that, because I cared, even little children, and I love this American flag. Now they need to make 45 more toe tags. 45 more doors knocked on, 45 more horrific bad wrecks where children involved because of trots to the bathroom. Tell him I said that. Put him on this video. Tell him I'm telling this. We almost got 1 million people hearing how crooked you are, Trots. It's not defamation. It is the truth. Now, he lied under oath. He's a liar. He's a perjurer. He's a fraud. And so, yeah, we got a bunch of people in here. Thank y'all so very much. So he's a perjurer. He's a fraud. Tracy Trott is his name. And now I know his address. I know his address. He lives in Elizabethton, Tennessee. But I'm not dirty like him. I'm a peace-loving, God-fearing person. But he's a coward. I'm not a coward. He's a coward. He has other people do his dirty work for him. He won't do it himself. Even his lies in his deposition that he gave where he swore to tell the truth, he didn't face me to do that. He didn't lie. He was too afraid to do that. He sent his cronies out to lie. And I'll explain to you in detail names, dates, places. If you don't believe what I'm saying, look at it. I'll show you his deposition where he lied. Got his picture on the front of it, standing there all proud of dirty lies, stepping over bodies where little children got killed. Now, some of those 145 people, it's up over 1,000 people that got killed. I had it under 1,000 on the way down. Now it's over 1,000 people get killed every year because of his general and specific deterrence. I know what that is because I have a Master of Arts in sociology, unlike his idiots that work for THPP that get promoted to even colonel because who they're related to. Now, Matt Perry, somebody just told me, I didn't even know this, that his relative, one of his close relatives, is a former Tennessee Supreme Court justice. So, wow, isn't that amazing? So if you got people in power, then they give you power to do nothing for the public except for give you more money from state tax dollars. So the Supreme Court justice is related to him, got your tax dollars. Her family got your tax dollars, and then she has them for rulings. Now, there's a price to their promotions. It's for rulings, promotions for rulings. If you promote Matt Perry, then we will rule in your favor. So you can't get an honest ruling in the Tennessee courtroom because they're wanting to get promoted. So they trade the Constitution for money and power, and that's what people in power under Governor Bill Lee are trading, the truth for power. That's what power is, the ability to do things in spite of opposition, and they're in power now by buying it, by lying to get it. So we're going to talk about Tracy Trott. We're going to talk about Trotts, and we're going to talk about Satterfighter. And I got their depositions in my back pocket, what they testified to under oath, what they lied to, and also something very alarming. You might want to hang on for this. Something very alarming. We see in the federal government that the levers of power have flipped. Now, whichever side of the political spectrum you're on, I don't really care. I can agree with some of both sides. So I'm extending an olive branch to people in the No Kings movement. I mean, there's some people that are mega going to hate me for this, but we have to reach out to everyone to be able to gain the levers of power for all of humanity's good. But there's some people in the No Kings movement that are in the movement because they like to be associated with the movement. They like to fight for a cause. They're just in the wrong cause. And they're misled. So we'd like to extend the olive branch to people in the No Kings movement. Join Power to You, the People movement. We don't hold up signs that say No Kings. We'll hold up signs that say go vote. Go vote, because we don't have kings, we have votes. And we have people in office that were voted in office. Maybe deceptively, that's what I think in the Tennessee government. For whatever reason, they did get votes and they were put in office. They're not kings. So your whole thinking behind the whole ideal, somebody told me it's hyperbolic. If you have to explain people the hyperbole, you're already lost. The Power to You, the People movement is very simple. There's no hyperbole. It is go vote. People go vote and get people in power that you want in power that will represent you, the populace, not these rich elite people that buy elections. The billionaires and the people, elite people, are buying power and maintaining power with their friendships and buying a proxy of voters that they give promises to and benefits to, that spread their word to get other people to tell them lies to get about 1 million people to vote for the governor in Tennessee. And we can overcome that proxy, not by saying no kings, by saying go vote. Go vote. That's as simple as that. We have the power in our hands. The people that didn't participate in the last election, even if everybody still votes the same in the upcoming election, the people that didn't participate for whatever reason, you have the power to overturn. If every one of them show up just like they did, there's more of us than there are them. So our message is not no kings, a hyperbole, that there's too much power in the government and all this bull malarkey. I mean, I don't know how to get there. You have to explain to people what no kings means. And it had to be explained to me because I didn't understand, because I'm thought, we don't have kings. But this movement is simple. So if you're a member of the No Kings movement and you think that we have kings, then I'm here to tell you, if you go vote, then you have who you want. And so join this movement, Power to You the People movement. So we're going to talk about Tracy Trots to the bathroom, and we're going to talk about Satterfighter and the crimes that they committed. The crimes, they're criminals. It's not defamation if it's true. And even if they sue me, a Tennessee court judge will rule in their favor every time. Doesn't matter if they're wrong. A Tennessee court judge will rule a dead body's alive, even if it's dead. They'll weekend at Bernie's, a Tennessee court judge would say, yeah, he's alive. Bernie's alive. No, he's not. He's dead. He's got people carrying around. No, they wouldn't care. If the state wants him to be alive, he's alive. They rule whatever people in power want to decide, regardless of the facts and regardless of the law. You can take all this stuff. I went to law school. I got a JD. I passed the bar exam 2 times trying to get my law license going through their system. You can take all that law and legal education and all the rules and all the facts and all the cases. You can take all the history that has built a foundation of our legal rule of law and throw it in the river off the Gay Street Bridge that's closed down, because the law's closed down too, just like the Gay Street Bridge. There is no law in Tennessee. It's anarchy. You go to their courts and they will do whatever ruling gets them promoted by the governor to the next highest judicialship so that they can rule for him again in that position, regardless of the facts and law, which is what they did in my case. And I'm going to show you right from the record. Another alarming thing I'm going to tell you is that power's flipped in this country. The hands of power went from Democrats to the Democrats to the Republicans. And under the Democrats, Mr. Trump was being charged with crimes all over the place, New York and everywhere, and federal crimes, state crimes, civil crimes, and he even got up and said, I've been charged with more crimes than Al Capone, a syndicate, criminal syndicate organization. And he was. I mean, so even if you believe he's guilty of crimes, was he guilty of 98 felonies all across the United States of America? Hell no. Hell no. It was politics. People on the other side of the aisle using the criminal justice system, the civil justice system, to persecute a political candidate. That's exactly what it was. It's clear to me. And in some cases, they got it done. Trying to ruin his name, got a mugshot from him. Wow, isn't that impressive? He's a criminal. Give him a mugshot. He'll never get elected. Now, it didn't work. It didn't work. It backfired. But now, you see, because we don't have kings, people voted. People didn't listen to the news media. People, by gossip, which gossip is not a bad thing. Got the president got reelected. So, but the hands of power are flipped now. So now you see some of the people, a lot of them, that charged Mr. Trump are getting charged with crimes. Isn't that amazing? Because the power's changed. The power structure's changed. It's not about the crime. It's about the constructive crime. Who decides what's crime and what's not? It's who's in power. And whether or not it's good for society is another issue to be debated. But that has really nothing to do with it. It's the hands of power that have changed. And now, interestingly enough, people that charge Mr. Trump are being charged with crimes. People that stood up against him are being charged with crimes. Isn't that amazing? So if you're standing on good ground and you didn't do anything wrong, you had every right to do what you did, then you won't have nothing to worry about. You shouldn't, because you got a jury you can go in front of. But if you lied, like in my case, then you might want to be worried if power ever flips. And that's the reason why they fight so hard to keep power illegitimately, because they know that if the constructs of the power are changed and they're put in our favor, then we won't falsely charge people with crimes. We'll go after, pursue the facts and put them in front of a jury and put their lying, crooked, dangerous selves to themselves and others, or even dangerous to themselves, behind bars and teach them a lesson. So the reason I bring that up is because the power's in their hands right now, and they do whatever the hell they want to, and they're sticking in your face some things that are obviously crooked and obviously wrong, and they don't care. The governor promoting a woman to major of the Highway Patrol in an appointed position, that's stealing valor, and I'm going to talk about that, from military veterans, like Vietnam veterans that went over. They said they got hats on them, Vietnam veteran, and she's stealing valor. She's saying she's a member of the National Guard. When Vietnam veterans went over and dodged bullets, some of them still have scars. They earned that right to say they're veterans. And somebody pops up and says, I'm a veteran, to get the public to give her credibility, and it's a dirty lie, and the governor knows about it. It's been reported to him, and I don't care what you think, promotes you to major just to show people I'll do whatever the hell I want to do. I'm a Christian, right? Yeah, no, I got the levers of power right now. Let's flip them, and I'll show you something else that's very important about Tracy Trotz to the bathroom. You listen to me, Tracy Trotz. You better hope I never get power or get somebody in power. Because when I do, we're going to go after you. Because you went after me falsely, and we'll go after you with the damn truth. And we got the evidence. And I'll show you the evidence of possibility, and we'll investigate it, of Trotz to the bathroom crimes where you ought to go to the pokey for. Some serious crimes, maybe, and it's on the record, maybe murder. Trotz may be guilty of murder. And you can see by his gaslighting. When you gaslight somebody, you accuse them of something that they're completely innocent of. And you know they're innocent. It may be because you did it yourself. That's what gaslight's all about. Accusing somebody else, part of it is accusing somebody else of something you did. That's how you thought of it. You did that, so I'll just act like they did it. And that's how you come up with the lie, knowing they didn't. And how do you come up with that lie? Because you're the one responsible for that. So in Trotz's deposition, he admits a few things in his testimony under oath that he knows he can't deny. It's in the record, but it points it out to me. So we'll talk about maybe flipping the script on the criminal Trotz to the bathroom, and maybe investigating him and putting his hind end in the pokey where it belongs. So I'm not just saying, I'm just telling you the truth. I'll show you on the record where he testified to a fact that we need to look into because of his gaslighting. He opened Pandora's box, and it ain't going to be shut now. I'm not going to let him shut it. So we'll talk about Trotz's possible crimes, and we'll talk about Satterfatter. They got promoted for lying. So they get promoted for lying for the establishment. If you lie, if the establishment is wrong, and you tell the truth, it makes them look bad. They'll get put out of power. But if the establishment is wrong and you lie for the establishment to make it appear legitimate what they're doing wrong, then for the lie, you get promoted for it. So the people at the top of THPP are the biggest liars. Yeah, I said that. They're the biggest liars. The people at the bottom, they're doing a job. Most of them are risking their life. And we'll talk about Kimberly Ogle. She's trying to get her brother in power. In Sevier County. Don't vote for Ogle Sheriff, my recommendation, because a vote for her brother is a vote for her to continue the massacre on Tennessee roadways. So, got my little flashlight here so we can make it safer for me to walk. Charles Van Morgan Show. You won't hear this stuff anywhere else. This is unbridled news. It's the truth. It's pretty outrageous, but the truth is outrageous. It's outrageous what they're doing to us. So listen up. And the marketplace of ideals. Even if you don't agree with me, listen to what I'm saying and think about it. Don't go in autopilot and just go along with the program. Don't just float downstream. Think about things and go against the grain where it's in your best interest. Don't let them program you. That's what they're trying to do. Hey, this is the way it is. Think about what they're trying to tell you and analyze it. See if it makes any sense what they're trying to say. And if it don't go along with the program. Don't go along. Resist their resistance against you. They're the dangerous, violent protesters. We're the government, and we need to get it under our authority. So let me see how many people I got on here. Like, share, comment, and if you can, resource mobilization. You want this social movement that we're telling them it's the Constitution, stupid. If you want the Constitution, contribute to the social movement that intends to stand on the Constitution, which I'm standing on right now. I'm on a public street on the sidewalk or the curb where I'm allowed to be speaking truth to power with my life in danger. If you want that to go on, nobody does it like I do. Nobody speaks truth to power like I will. Nobody made more drunk driving arrests in the whole state. Nobody saved more lives than Charles Van Morgan. I can't do it by myself. I got to have resources. Now, when I was a trooper, I had your tax money, and I did, and I appreciated that. That's why I used it for your good, to lower your fatality rate so you could get home safely. If you've seen a trooper on the side of the road arresting somebody for drunk driving that was all over the road protecting them and you, it was probably me. That ain't out there today. They're arresting people that ain't even drunk, that are stone cold sober while the drunk keeps going down the road and smashes into you. That's why the fatality rate's 45% higher. So, resource mobilization. If you want to, if you can, support the Constitution. Power to you, the people. Support voting. Fight their violence. Let's stop their violence against us. Mass violence on the roadways that they're causing. Let's see how many people got in here when we get up to this light. And if you can't share, if you can't contribute, hey, a lot of people don't have the money. Try to give $1 to show me that, hey, motivation. Because we can go on as long as we got funds. If you look at the social movement, literature, the most prominent theory put by these great thinkers back in the 18th century that have come up with today, the consensus is resource mobilization is that social movements advance and get concessions or have complete revolution, the ones that are funded, the ones that have resources. So, and if you can contribute $1, that's hey, that'll show, hey, we got people in the fight. You can do it anonymously. And if you can't do that, which we understand, it's a tight economy because people in power. Don't blame the bad economy on a recession, a depression, whatever. It's because the people in power ain't running the government right. And we need to kick office, we need to vote, and that will turn the economy around. We can turn the economy around. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. So if you can't contribute, resource mobilization, if you can't give us resources to fight for you, like I did in the past performance is a great predictor of future performance. So I'm not doing that. I'm not telling you anything I'm lying about. I will protect you all and stand on the Constitution and help you all get your constitutional rights back. So if you can't contribute, I understand that. I don't have a dollar to give to my name either, hardly. Then like and share. And I've had people comment that they are, and thank you so very much for that. We appreciate that. Good thoughts help too, good vibes. And also, let me tell you something else important. Something else very important that I believe in very much. And we'll continue with the dialogue. Stay tuned for the show. We're talking about Trotz and Satterfighter, the crimes they committed with depositional testimony, proof positive. But we need prayer is a great thing. Now, it's more important than a dollar bill. So if you're deciding between prayer and a dollar bill, give the dollar bill, give $100, give $1,000. It'll all go to perpetrating voting for the Constitution. But pray. Do both of them. Now, the Bible talks about if you see your friend hungry and you pray that you're not doing the right thing, if you can act. But if you can't do anything else, which is fine, you're doing a great deal by praying. We need prayer. Pray that God protects us, because don't doubt it. My life's in danger. You stand up against people in government power, and people think, oh, you don't know what he's talking about. That he's out of his mind. He's crazy. I already got a mugshot for doing nothing wrong, and I was beat on for running for public office. So yes, my life is in danger, and it tends to get a little more severe. The thing that protects me is resources and having millions of people watching what's going on. If something happens to me, don't look at some lone thug. Look at Tracy Trotz to the bathroom, Satterfighter. Look at people in power that like to shut me up because I'm exposing their crimes. Look at them. That's who does it. Somebody in government power, or the THPP Colonel Matt Perry. Maybe have one of his henchmen. But I'm just saying, my life's in danger. Don't doubt that. You know, the FBI was monitoring Martin Luther King Jr. And who knows what actually happened to him. But, you know, we may never know. But my life's in danger. And you don't have to be in danger by joining the movement. You can join it. Let's get off the side of the road here. You can join it surreptitiously. Support us from the sidelines. Or just support us out in the open safely. And by gossip, talking to your friends, gossip is a good thing. It's based on truth. And interpersonal relationships spread messages like wildfire. The message to spread is power to you, the people movement. Standing on getting our constitutional rights back. That will improve the economy, that will increase health care, that will provide for the public welfare and safety, health protection, and well-being, the populace, instead of the elite people that lie, commit crimes of the people in state government. So pray. You know, when I was running for governor, and one of the things that I'm proudest of, and I actually felt it. I didn't win the election, but I got yardage. You know, if you don't win a touchdown, get a first down, get 2 or 3 yards, or get close where you can punt the ball and, you know, keep trying. And I've had to come from a deficit of state defamation, you know, a mugshot, asking people to arrest somebody with a mugshot that they put on me, that they ended up dismissing later after the election, of course. But so I've had to come from a deficit, and the state lies about them lying about what I did, which is what I'm exposing the truth. So I went all over the state of Tennessee, knocked on great Tennesseans' doors, And y'all such nice, kind people. And I didn't lose anything. I got to meet Tennesseans, great Tennesseans. And y'all are such nice, kind people. And I got the pulse of Tennesseans. I know what you think about political issues. I talk to most of you. And I left campaign material on churches, not using the church to get elected, but asking churches, and I've got a right to seek prosperity for me and for everyone. I sought it and risked my life for your prosperity on the roads in the state of Tennessee. And I asked people at churches to pray for us, to pray for me and my family, and left that message on notes, on campaign material, on the front of churches. And I had people all over the state, hopefully they are to this day, praying for me. And I also returned the favor that said that I would pray for them, and I do. I pray for all the churches in the state of Tennessee, God's houses. And I stood out in front of their billboards. A lot of them have billboards with signs and messages from God. All over the state I've got them. To this day I read them. They're encouraging to me. Encouraging, increase my faith. God's messages from God's houses. Now some of them have gone rogue, gone wrong. They support the elite people because they're fooled. But I asked them to pray for me, and I actually, you say, well, you got arrested. Yeah, but it didn't stick, did it? God blessed me through a problem, and it didn't stick. And a lot of people fighting for people's rights aren't privileged to have a mugshot. Dr. Martin Luther King had a mugshot. Lester Roloff had a mugshot fighting for people's rights, not for a crime, for standing up on the Constitution, for fighting for other people. I got arrested for fighting for you. And Rosa Parks has a mugshot fighting for you. Donald Trump has a mugshot. I'm privileged, and I thank God for being amongst the few. So what they thought was a deterrent and adverse thing to me is a benefit. I've got a mugshot, not because I committed a crime, because I was fighting for you. And that's how serious I am about the Constitution and the First Amendment and protecting Americans and protecting Tennesseans. And you won't find many people that have a mugshot, not for a crime, for a social movement that's out for the benefit of society. And I'm proud of my mugshot. I used to be in law enforcement. I put people in jail that committed crimes, theft, and serious crimes. But I was put in jail amongst the top few for protecting you, which is something I'm proud of. But if you can't give resources, and it might not necessarily be money, any way you can help the movement. If you can call a friend, power to you, the people movement. We may run for governor, I don't know. We don't have to report anything now. We're not officially on the ballot, and I haven't declared I'm running because I may not. I don't know. I will endorse a candidate for governor, depending on one that wants to stand on the Constitution and give you back your damn rights. The one will go over the state listening to people and not lying to them. But if you can't give money, it's very important. I appreciate it. And I appreciate your prayers. Pray for me, and I return the favor. And I'll pray right now. Dear Lord, in Jesus' name, through his blood, I pray for all the people that are listening to this channel, adverse and otherwise. The ones that are adverse, I pray that you'll change their heart, and I pray that you'll bless and protect people. They have medical issues, and they have financial issues, and they have problems of their own. I pray for their problems, and I pray that you'll help them and bless them and protect them. In Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen. So I pray for you. I return the favor too. So pray for me. If you can't do anything else, pray. That's powerful. I believe in the power of prayer. You know, if I pray and something bad happens directly contrary to what I prayed for, I still trust God and still believe prayer works. I still believe that God knows better than me. For whatever in God's divine infinite knowledge, he decided against what I thought in my small worldview, in my humanity, that what was right, because God knows what's right. He does. And I would still pray that God's will would be done. And I still have faith and trust in God. And God's never done anything wrong, and God answers prayer. So no matter what happens, what you see, keep praying. It matters, even if it don't look like it. Evil people would try to tell you that prayer doesn't matter, that it's worthless, it's not important. And look, you prayed, and this is what happened. You prayed for this person, they died. You prayed for this, but God knows. God has infinite knowledge. And we can infinitely trust in God. We can't infinitely trust in what I know and what I see and what I think's right or wrong, because it may not be. Now, I got good God-given common sense, and I have hopes and wishes, but God knows better, and that's what I trust in. And I would advise people to do that. When something bad happens, people blame God. That's not a very smart move. That's not smart. Trust God. Praise Him in all things, and trust Him to work things out better for the good of them that trust Him, and He will. I have no doubt in that. So just because you pray, and you don't get what you ask for, pray some more. Pray again. Trust God every day, all day, no matter what you see. And I assure you, I promise you, I'm not a young kid. I've had a lot of problems. I prayed for things and they didn't happen the way I wanted to. And I still pray, and I still believe that God cares and loves me, and God still cares and loves you. No matter what you see as answer to prayer, because God answers prayers in your favor. He does, even if you don't see it that way. And sometimes it happens exactly as you pray, exactly when you pray for it. I've prayed before when I've lost things and prayed, God, help me find this. And I found it almost immediately after I prayed. There's a lot of prayers that God answers immediately. God heals people. If you're sick, pray about it. If a friend of yours is sick, pray about it. God can immediately heal people. Cancer, from serious illnesses, by praying to God in Jesus' name for that person, God can heal people immediately. It sometimes happens. Now people will say, well, the doctor did it, or the chemotherapy. No, God did it a lot of times. God did it a lot of times. God can do whatever He wants at any time He wants. And the way that He listens to us, and what can change the hand and mind of God, is through prayer. That's a powerful thing. I'd encourage y'all to do that. And I ask, if you can't give resources, give prayers. That's important. That builds a shield. God's a shield to them that trust Him. And that's what my mother taught me from a youth. So if you can't send resources, send prayers. If we can go on prayers. You can't live on love, but you can live on prayers. I guarantee you, God will provide. God will provide. And if the worst happens, you wake up in heaven. So resources, we need them. Please contribute. If you can't give resources, then pray. If you can give resources and pray too. And we'll extend an olive branch to whoever wants to join this movement. We got to be all inclusive to keep going. There's a few basic principles we can't go against. We can't go against the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, and the Fourth Amendment. So and our right to counsel, and we won't go against the Constitution. So God had His hand in the Constitution, I believe. So let's see how many people got on here. God bless you all, I pray. And since I've been talking about faith, I might not have too many people in here, but God hears me. And if you don't have faith, I'd encourage you to ask the Lord Jesus Christ to forgive you. It's a fallen world. We're born fallen, and come into your heart and save you. And He will. That's the first prayer you need to pray. So that's so many people we have on here. And we'll continue talking about Satterfighter's lies and Trott's lies. And it's not a sin to point out other people's criminality when you're a fighter and they're dangerous to the public. This isn't about me or personal vendetta. This is about fighting for the public. And this is a calling God sent man. And we're going to tell you about Trott's crimes and what we might flip the script on. Let's see how many people got in here coming up on light. Thank y'all so very much for joining. for watching the show. Charles Van Morgan Show. You won't hear this anywhere else. Let's see what we got in here. Yeah, we got a few people in here. So, not that many. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. And let's see some of the comments. It was really, let's see. Charles ruined a lot of innocent lives when he was a trooper. Oh, really? Yeah, if we got opposition, then we're stepping on some toes, aren't we? I heard annual leave had to be negotiated and it wasn't compulsory for them to do so. Wow, okay. Then why were you fired, Charles? I was fired for standing up for people's lives and for not kissing the ring. And if you have opposition, he got caught doing a lot of terrible things while he was a trooper. Imagine that, what kind, all he got away with. So why are all these people in here saying bad stuff about me? Why are all these people saying such bad stuff about me? Maybe it's because I'm stepping on some powerful toes and they're listening to what I'm saying because I'm scaring the hell out of them. Otherwise, why are they paying attention to me? Why am I so important that they need to slam me, get on my page, and say bad stuff about me? Why is that? They have no facts. They have lies, and I'm about to show you some of their lies. So, let's see here. Steve, I bet you wouldn't ever post content to that channel because you know you're nothing but a blow for the rest of us. Okay, you see any good alive from the past today? No, because they live and die. I don't know what that's about. Steve, post a 15-second video and prove that you're the only one here still in high school and living in mommy. Okay. You are God's inhale. Yeah. Steve, I bet text from comments attention. Keep posting. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah. Keep posting lies. And see what Staten hears me. All hell loud Lucifer. Steve said for a little attention in chat. Okay. So there's a lot of haters in here. Which you know, that's a good thing. That's a good thing because when you're stepping on some toes, you're threatening people, then that means that you're a threat. If you're not a threat, they don't think you got truth that you're going to expose them, then they don't care what the hell you say. But obviously all the haters in here are concerned that the truth might get out. So people in here that see all the hate and all the lies about me, and they're lies. We're going to show you depositions where these liars testified under oath to get something false to a courtroom. Show you what they said when I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. And then they went on to lie. Hello. And then they went on to lie. Commit crimes. It's called perjury. And people say, well, why didn't they go to jail? Because the judge condoned their perjury, because we got crooked judges in the state of Tennessee. They condone perjury. And not only did they condone perjury, they added stuff to the lies and helped perjurers and protected them because they're dirty judges in Tennessee. Crooked, dirty judges that have contributed to the fatality rate in the state of Tennessee, caused more Tennesseans to get dead on Tennessee highways. So my screen picture shows the reality. Now they can lie all they want to. That's a picture paints 1,000 words. That picture on my screenshot shows me at the scene of a fatal wreck where somebody killed themselves endangered the public, killed herself, was a violent person. That's a violent person. All they had to do was stop. But it's flipped around by these people in here that are lying to you. And by dirty judges, and by dirty state officials, by state crimes. That picture shows me standing beside a car on fire where I could have been blown up with a gas tank, trying to save somebody's life with my life at risk. Something that I'll show you I didn't even have to do. That wasn't part of the orders according to the rules that I'll write down, and they make up stuff. They just say whatever they want to off the top of their head, and if you got a judge bought and paid for, the judge will sanction a damn lie. And when I was going through that, I went over the record, and I found all their dirty lies, and we put them in the appeal process. But their appeal process is only set up by people that have lied for the governor, people that have lied for the governor to get promoted in the first damn place. So the higher you go, the less chance you got of winning. So the system is crooked as hell, and we're going to tell you about that. And the reason we're going to tell you about that is because Satterfatter's lies and Trots to the Bathroom's lies. And the reason we're telling you about that happened like 13 years ago. So you say, what does that matter? Well, here's the reason. It's because I was out saving lives for you when that happened. I was risking my life for you, the Tennesseans. And lowering the fatality rate. And after they got rid of me, fatality rate skyrocketed, went up. More people were killed on Tennessee roadways. And to this day, more people are killed on roadways because of people in state powers' crimes. So you need to know about this, because they're having more people, they're killing you to this day by proxy. And you need to know about this to know how the government operates for them and doesn't operate for you. So it is still going on today. The people in power got promoted for their lies. They got moved up in higher position for lying, for committing perjury. And we're going to show you the perjury that they did under oath, and we're going to talk about Trots and how he may have committed serious crimes himself, and show you on the record where he admitted to the possibility of committing crimes, and how when the script is flipped like it is now, when the hands of power changed, we will investigate him and maybe charge him with murder or attempted murder, because he made some admissions in his deposition that need to be looked into. Tracy Trots needs to be investigated for murder, attempted murder, because of his statements and depositions against me. Isn't that interesting what he put out? Maybe his own demise because of his admissions. Why would he insinuate that I committed a crime when he knew damn well I didn't? Because he was involved in similar incidences where he committed a crime. Similar instances in pursuits involving death that he admitted to. But were the incidences that he was involved in investigated? I mean, he was involved in pursuits and shootings. I'll show you on the record where he says that, admits to that, where he's testifying to try to take my life from me and take my job from me, raise the fatality rate. Where Trots is testifying to that, he admits because he's asked, and he has to because it's on the record, we could find it out. But we know, we don't have to check the record because it's on the record where he testified against me that he was involved. Now listen, he was involved in Trots to the Bathroom. Tracy Trots lived in Elizabethton. I'm not going to tell you where he lives because I'm not a thug like him. He told the news and everybody where I lived, endangering my children. But I'm not a wicked man like that thug is. And that's why I question whether or not he murdered people, because he admitted on the record that he was involved in shootings on the job where he discharges firearms, and he was involved in pursuits, and he was involved in incidences where people were killed. So did Tracy Trotz on the job shoot somebody in cold blood and kill them? We don't know. We know that he is on the record, and I'll show you, admitting 2 incidences where he's testifying against me, where I got him on the record. He swore to it. Now, he didn't swear that he killed somebody, but admitted that he was involved in shootings. He didn't say if the shootings involved in death, but he does admit he was involved in instances that involved death. And he admits on the record, where he's testifying against me, that he was involved in pursuits. And he admits on the record that he was involved in incidences on the job in law enforcement where he was active pursuing or shooting where people, and he doesn't say which one, where people died. Now, my question is, was it murder? And I think that there's grounds to investigate, because he doesn't specify which one. He knows he has to answer the question, because we can find it out in the record and prove he's lying, because they got records that he was involved in pursuits where obviously, according to them, he was cleared. He was involved in shootings. He admits to that, where obviously, according to them, he was cleared. But my question, and it needs to be investigated, is whether or not he murdered somebody, shooting them and killing them on the job, whether or not he was involved in a pursuit where he intentionally killed somebody that was completely innocent. And that is because there's grounds to say that. He opened the door because he accused me of pretty much murder, letting somebody burn to death, while I did nothing wrong. It's obvious on the video I did nothing wrong. And he lies about it. He lies about it. And says stuff that there's no way that he can know. So, that's gaslighting. If somebody gaslights you, they say that you're guilty of something. It's just logic. Then gaslighting, a well-known phenomenon, it's not no secret. Somebody gaslights you, they accuse you of something you know you didn't do, and you say, how can they think that? I mean, there's no way they can think that. What are they talking about? Think to yourself, it's a well-known phenomenon, psychological phenomenon, that they are accusing you of that. They know about that they're accusing you of something you didn't do because they did it themselves. That's how they know. So they're framing you with something they know about because they're guilty of that. That's not a difficult concept to understand. So I'm saying Trotz knows I didn't do anything wrong. His own internal affairs investigation cleared me. I was back at work. Continued to lower the fatality rate. I made 20 drunk driving arrests, over 20 drunk driving arrests in December. It was investigated December the 9th. I was taken off the road. I was put back to work, I think on December the 14th. I made 20 drunk driving arrests in the month of December after they investigated it and put me back to work and cleared me over the incident. And then Trotz later says I did things wrong, lying, saying that it was a termination of the Internal Affairs Unit that I did something wrong, and that is a lie. It was not the termination of Internal Affairs Division. They initially investigated me. It was their determination by the act of putting me back on the job and clearing me, signing paperwork that I could go to work that day, but I had not done anything wrong. So he lied in his investigation, in his testimony under oath. So why did he lie? Because of gaslighting, I believe. So if he was involved in pursuits, which he admits on the record testifying against me, if he was involved in shootings where he shot at somebody on the job, then it makes sense to me, and maybe it don't to you, Marketplace of Ideals, I got a right to say this, and I will say it. I believe Tracy Trotz, based on the record and what he's saying against me, maybe murdered somebody, shot somebody to death on the job as a trooper, that it was covered up by the Highway Patrol. I believe he may have also killed somebody in a pursuit that was probably completely innocent, today they're arresting drunk people that have not done anything. So I believe that Mr. Trott may be a murderer, and it needs to be investigated. And when we flip the script, then we'll investigate that. So that's what I'm saying. And he's got his cronies on here. Saying bad stuff about me. He's got his people in here, and this is how you know what I'm saying is affecting him. So, and YouTube is censoring me. I can tell. I had almost 300 views yesterday, and now I'm down to 80 because they censor the truth. So if they take me off YouTube because of real journalism, real truth, real facts, I'll show you the depositions with his ugly, deadly mug on it. And I know he's deadly because he's caused the fatality rate to skyrocket. Because I'm saying that he may have murdered somebody because he admitted to shootings and he admitted to pursuits. He may have killed more than one person because of his assault on the truth. I know he's a liar. I can show you where he's a liar under oath. And then we'll also talk about Major Satterfighter. So we're almost to the bridge, and we'll show you these facts and see what you think about them. Show you the deposition testimony. And thank y'all for joining. We got a few people in here, and we appreciate all our fans and viewers, and even appreciate the people that are on here showing how important I am by slamming me. So have at it. Ooh, you're scaring the hell out of me. So also going on in the news is and we'll when we get down to the bridge, I'll show you the depositions. Going on in the news, like, share, comment, subscribe, and contribute if you can. So going on in the news is Trump's building a big new facility next to the White House, that he's buying it with his own money, and people are slamming him, saying that he's destroying history. If we live in the past all the time, what the hell good is that going to do us? History is changing every day. Yesterday is history. So if we tear down a building today and build a new building, tomorrow that building will be history because it's been there for a day. So we're going to keep, how long are we going to go back to keep history? Just because some former person that we declare is great went in that building, we need to move forward and not backwards. So everything Trump does, people hate. Some people that are boisterous hate. Everything I do, people that are boisterous apparently hate me, but there's a lot of people on here that love me, and a lot of people on here that are praying for me, and I certainly appreciate that. So we'll talk about Trotz. I've been promising y'all for days. Tracy Trotz to the bathroom. We'll talk about Major Satterfighter, and I also have an offer, a book offer, where I'm going to spell out all these facts I've been talking about, setting the record straight about the Tennessee Highway Patrol and how they wrongfully fired me. And it's about a 30-40 page book. So if you want the book to look at the evidence, the testimony in the record, documented evidence, the facts of the case, then email me at charlesvanmorgan@gmail.com and for a small price of $99, or you can just send $100. I'll send you the book, and I'll show you the title here in just a minute. And we spell out all the facts about THPP and their lies in court and their crimes. And we tell you about what it's all about. So order the book, charlesvanmorgan@gmail.com. No hyphens or anything, just flat out charlesvanmorgan@gmail.com. Send me an email, and or send me comments, whatever. And $100 and your name and address, or send a check to 3434 June Street, Knoxville, Tennessee 37920. And I have protection there if somebody feels guilty. And I don't even live there. I live somewhere else. That's just where I get my mail. So you're not going to do any good. So send me a check for $100, and I'll send you, it's about a 50-page book. And I'll show you the title. It's about the Tennessee Highway Patrol incident and what happened. And we will send you the book. Try to get some resource mobilization. So here's what we're going to do, because YouTube is censoring me. I don't have a lot of viewers. So if you're on here now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to log off and then log back on to try to reactivate the algorithm. So give me just a second to log off, and then we'll log back on and see if, because the algorithm's all funny. We don't have a lot of viewers, got less than 100, and that's not enough for what we usually get. So we're going to log back off and log back on. When we log back on here in just, a minute, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about Satterfighter, the lie she told, and go through the record and the legal issues. Look at what she said and what the rules say. Two different things. And we're going to talk about, so if you need to take a break, take one now. And we're going to talk about, we'll be live from the bridge in about 2 minutes. And we're going to talk about trots to the bathroom and the crimes that he may have committed. And maybe we'll flip the script and investigate him. So take your break. We'll log back on. Join me if you're still here. And we're going to log back on in a minute, see if we can't reactivate this algorithm. It's not doing us any favors today. So last thing I always say, back on about 2 minutes, is God loves you and I do too.